Hello everybody. Thank you so much for watching and always tuning in. This is your Diet Doctora, Dr. Josephine Grace Chua Rojo. Yung topic po natin for this day is very special kasi nga usually we are always tackling about health, our physical aspect, mostly through low-carb nutrition and of course incorporation of fasting. Pero for those of you who've already read the books, no, our book series isn't just about fasting, isn't just about diseases, isn't just about physical health, no? But we are also very much concerned with our overall wellness. So ano ba talaga yung tinatawag nating wellness? What composes a holistic approach when it comes to wellness? At tama lang ba na i-correct lang natin yung kakainin natin? Do we just need to fast and eat right, tapos magiging okay na tayong lahat? Or there could be other things more important and also, or as equally important na kailangan nating pagtuunan ng pansin. Because if not, we can actually jeopardize kahit gaano pa kalinis yung kinakain natin, kahit gaano pa tayo nagpa-fast, no? But if we let other stressors na to come to us and allow those stressors to dominate our system, alam nyo ba na pwedeng masira pa rin yung overall na yung tinatawag nating health nga. It's because certain kinds of stress can cause physical disruption talaga. When it comes to dysfunction, it's all about stress. A little stress is okay, but too much stress, and research shows, no, na chronic stress actually can do so much worse. And our guest for tonight is no other than a very important, a WELLThy coach, no? So, WELLThy coming from the root word na wellness. So, hindi lang siya, but you can sound it as something na wealthy talaga. But truthfully, kapag nai-apply nyo ang mga aspect na ito, you can be wealthy on its in its all description, no? On its meaning talaga. So let me welcome our LCF Masterclass graduate din, a coach, a life coach, a coach in so many things other than LCF, and we have the wealthy coach of the WELLThy community. We have Eliz Rose. Hello, Eliz.
Hello! Good afternoon, Grace!
Good afternoon. So, before we proceed, no, maraming nag-hello na sa atin dito, especially our classmates in our LCF Masterclass. We have Den Bunying, of course, Inday Jean, we have Gilbert, we have so many others. And then, maraming mga Facebook users, no? So, mga Facebook users, I hope you get to write there your name, no? So you allow StreamYard to view your name para makita namin. So gusto ko na sana namin mag-hi sa inyo, but hindi namin alam kung sino kayo. So thank you so much. Gilbert Salvador, manage stress. So importante talaga yan. Yun yung pag-uusapan natin. So Eliz, before we start, no, can you tell us a little background about yourself? I know you already have a lot of followers and helped a lot of students na din in your coaching. But for those who are first time to meet you, tell us something about yourself.
Okay. I am in China. But I'm very much connected to Grace, yes, and the community. So we got stuck here because of COVID. We are in the, ano ba yun? Parang 1 year, sobra na, Doc. But it's good because of that.
Oh.
I was able to focus on things na yung mga ganito talaga, yung mga issues for the well-being, and it makes you realize na, ano, Doc?
Yung mga usually nakakaligtaan natin because we are so much focused on other things na tangible, yung nakikita talaga. But these ones are the very important ones na kung hindi pa nagka-COVID ay hindi natin ma-focus talaga ng bongga.
Right. It allows you to slow down a little bit kasi nga yun nga yung problema, 'di ba? In Bacolod I'm running a business, I have the kids, I have organizations. Pero because of COVID, manonotice mo ay kaya naman palang lahat i-manage online and a little bit slower. Hindi kailangan yung rush all the time. Yun. So I'm a mom of 3 and I'm 43. talagang sinabi yung age.
Wow!
Ayun. Mom of 3, yes. Eldest ko is 15 years old. Yun yung nag-low carb talaga na nag-lose ng 15 kilos, Doc, in 100 days.
At
Yung
15 years
eldest.
old.
Yes. Mm-mm. Ayun.
Okay. So,
Pero,
thank you for that background, no? Yun lang yung sinabi ni Elise, but actually, she is so much more. Okay? So, and what I like about Elise, no, is aside from her appreciating the science of low carb, as you can see naman, no, longevity talaga yan. Youthfulness, the fountain of youth. You who can believe na 43 na siya. With 43 siguro, with mental maturity, yes. Pero physically, you don't look like 43 at all, no? No offense sa mga 43 looking 43 or 43 looking not 43. Pero yes, you are really looking great. And what I love about Elise is that kahit hindi niya kailangan ng ganong motivation when it comes to improving her physical aspect, when improving her eating habits, but she was so open-minded when it comes to learning more, and especially the science behind, no, about low carb nutrition and of course incorporation of fasting, that she herself applied it even to her kids. Okay, so mind you, Elise is already a coach in so many aspects nga, sabi natin. And it's good that she was able to really learn. She had a lot of license and training as well when it comes to low carb nutrition and keto nutrition, not just the last LCF masterclass that we did, pero galing sa iba din, many certifications from very well-known industries. So alam na alam niya talaga, and it's good that we are seeing the benefits for her kids. How many kids do you have nga? Yun, di pa yun naniniwala sila dito.
Tatlo, Doc. Eldest
Okay.
is 15.
How old are they?
Tapos 7, ang youngest.
Okay. So if you are looking for some help and tips, no, for doing low carb, especially sa mga bata. Kasi ngayon sinasabi ng mga tao na yung low carb para lang sa may mga sa may sakit. And all the more they are afraid of doing low carb, especially for kids, kasi nga sinasabi ng iba, children are sugar burner. Okay? Actually, all of us are sugar burner. It's just that children can burn more. But it doesn't mean excuse sila sa side effects ng burning from sugar all year round. Okay? Kahit yung mga bata still have the same biochemistry na kapag hindi natin natutuunan ng pansin, they can also lead to problems. So there's already childhood diabetes, childhood obesity, no, childhood insulin resistance, and sometimes they don't appear as problem in the blood. They don't appear as problem in all those, but they appear as inflammation, as allergies, minsan yung matagal gumaling na mga sugat, or sometimes parating may singaw, so merong ear pain, merong parating sipunin, yun. So actually, hindi siya indication of just poor immune system, but it could be overnutrition already. But I think we were able to focus so much about health and wellness. Now, we are always talking about health, no? But right now, Eliz really opened up that with all the books, of the 3 books, one of the books na who spoke to her, close to her heart, is really the book 3. And meron ka bang dyan? PDF, no? PDF kasi nga hindi ka pa nakauwi dito. So yeah, it's in PDF form, nasa iPad lang yan. So that is book 3 actually, of the books, of the 3 books. Third book is actually also closest to my heart. Kasi for me, hindi talaga makokompleto yung overall wellness. Hindi siya matatawag na perfect talaga as long as hindi mo kompleto yung physical aspect without the proper mental mindset, without the proper mental wellness. Okay? And Eliz, being a certified life coach, no, can help us further with wellness. Meron tayong 8 dimensions of wellness. Okay, and we will tackle that one by one. But first question is, what can you say to people when it comes to wellness? Ano ba talaga yung wellness?
This is usually picture an orange, Doc. Di ba ang orange, we always look at the fruit as one. But if you open it up, ang dami niyang dimensions, di ba? So, isang area lang ng orange ang rotten. it will destroy the whole fruit. So every time we look at a person, example, tayo nagkikita tayo, di ba? What you just see is just the skin of the orange. You don't really know what's going on inside in every dimension, mental, spiritual, emotional. So lahat kasi yan nagko-complete sa isang orange, which is sa isang tao. So it's good that we are taking care of the physical, but what I always say, kaya ko Doc sinasabi that I am the wealthy coach, WELLTHY, because it takes more than a fit body and a fat bank account to be wealthy. 'Di ba? So, it's really an overall being. Kumbaga pa, basta just picture out an orange and how it is inside
Yeah.
is what we are as a person.
Okay.
Yun.
Yeah. So it's really good. It's really a very very good analogy, no? So sa atin, I know physical health is for me para siyang prerequisite, okay? Because kahit gano'n naman of all those 8 dimensions, physical aspect can be covered first. But hindi pwedeng siya yung end all be all. Pagkatapos mo
Right.
ma-address yung physical aspect, you really have to work on the other aspects, other dimensions of wellness for you to really see all the benefits, for you to really live your life longer. Kasi kung
To be
iisipin mo,
wealthy.
kung grabe ka na oh, and you are wealthy, but you are also having no other sources of kalalagyan ng lahat ng resources mo, ng all of your attention, all of your health, all of your attention, wala din. So, what's the purpose of living if you're only addressing your physical health, but physical health is it's like the how to live healthy, how to live long. But the why of living, why you want to live, and the reason why you would like to live longer will be addressed by these other dimensions. So, for all of your questions, we will see kung meron tayong time later. But if ever hindi, don't worry. I'm sure you are going to learn so much more. The others, for your questions, actually, I would like to invite you to join our group, no? Low-Carb Feasting and Fasting Community for your questions,
Yes.
your admins and moderators, and your fellow members, where Eliz also is a moderator of our Life Without Price group, will be there to help you as well, answer all of your questions. So, for now, we will proceed with the different aspects of ating wellness, no? So, we have 8 dimensions, okay? So, we will see kung ano sila isa-isa. Okay? So, the first one, tingnan muna natin. Ano yung first one? Sige. So, the first one would be here. Let's see.
Ayan. Go.
Okay.
Kaya mo yan, Doc.
Occupational wellness.
Loading pa siya. Ayan. Emotional.
Okay.
So, that is...
So, ano na
that
tayo?
is, ano,
Emotional wellness.
yes, that is how we feel. Diba? Kasi 'di ba parang our connection as a person, yan yung ano natin, emotional wellness. Kasi kahit yun, isa-isa, i-run through na lang natin, Doc, and then siguro later on, we give the totality, no? Totality. So, how we feel, how we manage or express our emotions. Kasi a lot of times, especially kung women siguro dati, no? Kailangan you just have to keep quiet. Yung mga ganyan. So, you cannot just bottle it up sa emotional wellness mo. Next is the environmental, the things that where we live. Kung safe ba siya, baka ang daming toys na nakakalat sa sahig, tapos natumbak ka, namatay ka tuloy dahil sa isang matchbox na nasa sahig. Literal yan na environment talaga. But you also have to take care of that. So we also have financial, yun, how you manage your finances kasi it causes so much stress. We also have the mental wellness. Yung, syempre, ngayong COVID times, di ba, ang daming napapraning. Yan, occupational, how fulfilled are you with your chosen career? Kasi pwedeng kumikita ka ng malaki, mayaman ka, dumadami pera mo, tumataba bulsa mo, but you don't have that sense of fulfillment 'di ba? So, we also have to talk about that. Ayun, and yung physical, syempre, low carb, intermittent fasting. Yan, how you take care of yourself physically and social. Yun, yung relationship mo sa community, do you do service ba? Like example, Doc and I, we are very happy serving through the Bayanihan missions. Yan, so we also have another one. I'm also currently the president of Rotary, so it's a civic organization also that helps. And syempre, yung spiritual wellness natin, this is the sense of purpose talaga. Yung pinaka-core ng being natin as a person. Ayan. So, lahat yan para silang isang dimension ng orange na hindi mo pwedeng pabayaan kasi if you rot, ano tawag ang rot sa Tagalog, Doc? Kung
Doon, hindi ko alam.
ano tawag ko, rot ka.
Yun,
Ilonggo
yung
Doc,
biodegradable at biodegradable.
Sa Ilonggo, Doc, ano
Yung masisira, or yun na lang.
Oo, basta ganyan. If you are rotting in one area, ano yan eh, kumbaga pa parang magdo-domino effect. Siguradong mahahawa yung ibang aspect ng area natin. Kaya 'di ba ang daming mayayaman pero ang anak nagsusuicide, 'di ba? Ang mga issues ng dimensions.
Mabulok na, sabi ni Coach Jean, mabubulok kapag merong nabubulok inside.
Bulok.
One part of your dimension ay mabulok, pwedeng mabulok lahat. Okay?
Oo,
So, thank
tama.
you for that, Coach Jean.
Thank you for the Tagalog. Shortness of Tagalog words kami ni Doc. Ayan. So, syempre yan yung mga dimensions ng wellness natin. And sa self-care, Doc, di ba? Syempre, although, ano kasi siya di ba, ang wellness, parang ikaw as a person, yung slices mo in between, inside pala. Pero, ang self-care naman, syempre, how you also find time to prioritize yourself naman. Because, kasi nanay ka, di ba? Yun yung usual, Doc, kapag nanay ka, sabihin mo, ay, gusto ko din sana ng isang slice, kaya lang, sige anak, ikaw na lang muna kakain, di na lang ako kakain, di ba ganun? So, dapat, you have to realize that you also matter. Kasi, pag nag-breakdown ako kasi I'm so grumpy, I'm so tired, I'm so stressed, so paano ko maaalagaan yung husband ko, yung anak ko, yung community, di ba? So many people depend on us that we have to also prioritize ourselves. Sa self-care naman yun, ganun.
Yes. Okay. So, it's really, really good that we are tackling this. Kasi nga, hindi ito parating natatakol most of the time. We are always focusing on our health, no? But our health, actually, parang hindi lang siya basta physical health lang. It can also have, no, the health na sinasabi natin, yung mental health. So, I'm happy that with this episode, we can actually focus on our wellness. So, kapag kasi natatakol natin yung wellness, it's already a given that, say for example, especially, no, that I know that most of our followers right now are into low carb already and into fasting. But sometimes, nakikita nila, bakit hindi ko pa rin ma-achieve yung goal weight ko? 18 hours na ako nagpa-fasting. No? 18 hours na ako nagpa-fasting. Yung kinakain ko, low carb na talaga at clean low carb. Yung kinakain kong gulay, yung tatanim ko, hindi ako bumibili outside. Yung itlog na kinakain ko, yung free-range chicken na nasa bahay talaga namin. So, very organic. So, sure ka na talaga. So, I'm happy that with this episode, we get to share this other book, no? So, this is actually the third book for those of you na hindi pa masyadong familiar. So, this is the third book of the Perfect at Last series. It's entitled Perfect at Last Wellness, Internal Calm Amidst External Chaos. So, hindi man siya na-breakdown into this well-organized 8 dimensions, but it's covering all that. And yes, part of that, sa mga readers, no, nakikita nyo dyan, meron na namang fasting, meron na namang low carb, okay? But that is just covering the basic. Yung importante, yung health mo ay priority mo talaga kasi hindi mo magagawa yung ibang aspect sa buhay when you are, say for example, stressed din. Because stress, parang inaano lang natin yung stress eh. Ginagawa natin siyang minor. Pinapaliit natin yung stress. But actually, yung stress is really, really affecting us in so many levels. Yun nga ang sabi
Mm.
nila, kung ialaw mo yung sarili mo na ma-stress, no? Is it from work, from your environment, from your own problems, no? So, mga challenges natin in life, sabi nila, mas mabuti pang kumain ka na lang ng tinapay. Kasi at the end of the day, pwedeng silang dalawa mismo, pwedeng magpapataas ng sugar mo. Because stress, especially if it's chronic stress, yung pangmatagalan na stress, that can actually lead to increase in your cortisol. And
Yes.
your
Yes.
increase in cortisol. Alam mo ba, anong ginagawa ng cortisol? Magde-demand siya sa liver mo na, hoy, gumawa ka ng marami pang sugar. Gumawa ka ng marami pang sugar kasi stress ako. And that sugar can lead to the same effect of hyperglycemia. There is even a medical condition na tawag nating stress hyperglycemia. So ano yung
Mm.
stress hyperglycemia? It's usually related to patients. Nakikita yan usually sa mga pasyenteng may sakit na kahit hindi diabetic, kahit walang kinakain, kahit walang kinain for how many days kasi nga wala silang ganang kumain. But when you check their blood sugar, mataas yung blood sugar nila. And it's because of the stress factor. So there is what we call as stress hyperglycemia. Okay? So importante na i-manage natin yung stress. So we have many sources of stress. Yung iba, with our book 3, we talk about childhood trauma. Minsan yung mga stresses natin sa buhay could be related to the traumas and the experiences that we had when we were still a child. So it's good that we should address that. Kasi minsan, especially with food, no? Food addiction and our obsessions to physical aspect only, that actually could have a psychological na connection sa mga troubles natin when we were still teens, no? So we can address that. If you need a professional consultation, we have friends in psychiatry na we can refer you to. Importanteng ma-manage natin yon. But if you, like kami ni Eliz, no, DIY kasi kami lahat eh. If we can do it on our own, we will do it on our own. So if you want to like DIY it, DIY style, no, so you can actually also benefit from reading self-help books, no? And of course, having a community to support you. Having, it may be a smaller community, an intimate community like your family or your loved ones, or even a bigger virtual community. So I think with our groups in LCFF, no? And Life Without Rice, we are not just concerned about the what you're eating, but also your internal struggles. So that kasi kapag na-address natin yung internal struggles natin, kahit gaano pa kagulo yung outside on our environment and our external aspect, is also na-address yan. Okay? So, hindi lang, as much as we are covering the wellness side, we are also prioritizing then the different aspect of our wellness na actually, when you do low-carb nutrition and fasting, it may just be addressing the physical aspect, but you will be surprised. Yun yung always na mga testimonials ng mga tao. Nung nagsimula akong mag-low carb at mag-fasting, hindi lang gumanda yung health ko. Pati yung pananaw ko sa buhay, yung whatever is happening to my career, I became better at my job. So, na when you are at your best kasi, you also tend to function better. And when you are at your best, when you are staying positive, that positivity, hindi mo maiiwasan that you can spread it around you. And what is good about positivity and optimism is that hindi siya one way. Hindi siya yung parang nauubos. When you actually spread something good, kahit hindi mo yan intention, it will just naturally go back to you. And that positivity, that optimism is really important. So we can talk one by one. So yes, the first aspect of our wellness, no, was the emotional wellness. So importante talaga that we address that. So emotional wellness, what are your basic tips, Elise, when it comes to emotional wellness ba?
One of which is, I think, the very basic is a healthy self-esteem. Because minsan kasi even if people outside, wala silang ginagawa sa'yo, pero kung ang pananaw mo sa sarili mo is so low and you're so down, kahit may tumingin lang sa'yo, di ba? Iba yung interpretation mo, you will, you will think na, nako, nililook down nila ako. Parang ganyan. Or di kaya may gusto kong sabihin, hindi mo masasabi kasi you're always, parang nagda-doubt ka sa sarili mo na, so, ikikip ko na lang to lahat. So, ang ending, you end up, you bottle your emotions because you cannot express it. Thinking na hindi valid to because your self-esteem mismo hindi secured. So, parang iniisip mo na, ay, baka pagtawanan nila ako kung sasabihin ko to na I don't like this, I don't like that, or I prefer this over that. You cannot voice out. So, ang ending, lahat doon, tinatago mo na lang kasi ayaw mong sabihin because you're not secured enough to say what you want or to what you want to express. Ayun siya.
Yes. And if I may add to that, no, we may be focusing on our physical health, no, your medical side and all that. And as much as we are not looking into outside appearance, but we also understand, no, that our outside appearance can give us so many effects when it comes to our emotions. And hindi ito physical appearance na nakikita ng iba. It's the physical appearance that we see ourselves, how we see ourselves. So I think it's really good to be mindful when it comes to improving your physical appearance, not for others, but for your own.
But for you.
As long as long as you love the person you are seeing in the mirror, walang problema yan. So regardless of your color or skin or size, no? Ngayon pa lang, we can start by loving ourselves. Kahit ano pang nakita mo, you love yourself, and then you love yourself from that day on. From starting today, you tell yourself that you love yourself because when you give that love to yourself, hindi mo nahanapin sa iba. You covering that love, you will not ask for it from anybody. Kung merong magbibigay sa iyo ng love na yan, that's just a bonus. But regardless of that, pwede talaga. So it's good to always take care of our emotions, and with proper nutrition, it's a norm, no, that you will just become your best self. You will become your best self. So kung sabihin mo na mamaya na ako magpapaka-healthy, ayusin ko muna yung pakiramdam ko, actually you wouldn't know. When you start eating right, when you start doing right, para siyang magic. Your emotions will just become better. So emotional wellness is very important. As what Eliz said, it's your self-esteem. So number 2, we will tackle environmental wellness.
Yan. Ito naman sa environmental. Ang gusto ko namang i-ano dito, Doc, is yung sa safety naman na side. As much as environmental in a sense na syempre yung mga bata, 'di ba, as they grow from a mother's perspective, the environment really has a lot of influence on us. Pero ito naman, since we are lack of time, gusto ko lang i-share yung safety. Kasi yung mga accidents, Doc, sa bahay, physical din kasi yun ang effect ng environment pag may nangyari sa'yo kasi may toys na nasa sahig. 'Di ba? Kumakain ka nga ng tapa, tapos may matchbox or may toys na nasa sahig, na tapakan mo, na tumba ka, na bago ka na.
Pero nangyari na ba sa'yo? Wala naman. Baka may pinagpupuntan ka. Wala naman.
'Di ba? So it's wellness is not just thinking about inside lang, pati ang environment mo outside, or bigger scale would be fresh air. Taking a walk outside to inhale yung mga Doc, yung sa mga essential oils, yung mga good, mga trees na smell ng mga trees, ng mga sea, yung mga ganun naman. So, actually, madami din siyang area mismo sa environmental, but those are just things that we can consider when we think about environmental aspect naman. Whatever is on the outside.
Yeah, so I couldn't agree more, no? I cannot really hindi talaga ako mahilig magligpit, no? So alam na pamilya ko yan. So alam nila na part yan na kapag magluluto ako sa kitchen, merong sumusunod na naghuhuga sa akin. And I'm so
Hands up to
blessed.
the
Meron akong family
to
na, na yung gustong-gusto nila ay yung sumunod din sa kalat. So, yun, para sa akin, oh my God, bakit ganito? Bakit ganito kaswerte ang buhay? Yung meron akong pamilya na yung gusto-gusto talaga nila ay sumunod sa mga kalat ko. Yan. So, actually, so alam ko talaga, well, if I need to really focus on one thing, doon lang ako nagliligpit talaga. So, kapag magliligpit na ako, meron akong kailangan gawin yan. But if I don't need to really use my head or really focus on some things, okay lang ako. I can live with all this skalat. But if there is such a thing as inward outward, so you cleanse your inside and then it will reflect outside, there is also another effect of outward inward. Okay, when you clear your distractions on your environment, it will actually give you more peace. And when you have more of that peace, no, it's easier to sort out kung ano mang gumugulo inside. Okay, so it could be two ways. So try to see what's surrounding you. If there need to be fixing, if meron kailangan ligpitin, if meron kailangan i-rearrange, if meron kailangan i-reorganize. Sometimes when we organize the tangible things, yung sa paligid natin, it becomes easier to sort out yung mga nagpapagulo sa atin inside. And with environmental wellness, for me, as my father used to have a partnership with the ENR. So we really grew up tree planting, reforestation. Yun talaga yung kinalakihan namin. So if you know, although now we understand na reforestation ay hindi lang pala kahit anong forest lang, kahit anong tanim lang. We understand now that it's good to really plant fruit-bearing trees of native origin. So, meron tayong mga, member ako ng Native Visayan Trees na enthusiast group. Member ako niya. So, yun. So, but before, we really grew up tending to our environment. And actually, when I realized that if we only eat right and live right, we are not just taking of our internal environment. We are also taking care of the environment like Mother Nature in general. Because with this lifestyle, hindi siya kontra sa nature. You are encouraged to eat natural food. You are encouraged to eat the healthy foods. Kung pwede pa nga lang, grass-fed lahat. So, we try to avoid the processed foods. That is how good it is for the environment, okay? We are not promoting yung mga talaga large scale industries na kinukuha yung agricultural land just for certain factories or kung ano man yan. So with this lifestyle, it's like, for example, whenever you eat, you are actually increasing also, you're adding your carbon footprint. Carbon footprint po yung term kapag meron kang waste material. And every day, we have waste material. Okay? So, with fasting, actually, you are eating less. So, usually ngayon tayo, maximum na tayo yung 2 meals a day, di ba? As compared to 3, 4, 5 meals. So, that's actually lessening our carbon footprint on that level. So, kahit dyan lang, nakikita natin. So, it's really good that we are into this kasi I believe that this lifestyle is really for long. Hindi lang siya basta pang one time lang because it's not going against nature. It's not going against anything. Lahat ay considered. Now, moving on to our third, which is the financial aspect. I think financial wellness. I think mga dito, maraming gusto talaga dito. And don't worry, there is so many ways to address financial wellness. Of course, you can first reduce your unnecessary spending, and that could be unnecessary spending for unnecessary number of meals. But to get it from Eliz, ano yung pang tips mo how to achieve financial wellness?
Okay. So in terms naman of financial wellness, there are like different aspects. Parang how to accumulate wealth, how to manage them, and how to pass it on. Kasi dapat ganun eh. The problem that we have is we are so focused on gaining so much wealth that we forget to take care of ourselves. So ang ending, we gain so much wealth, and then when we are old, lahat ng sakit, meron tayo, Doc, di ba? So, lahat ng inipon mo for so many years, naitapon mo lang kasi nagkasakit ka ng milyon-milyon din. So, you have to have a balance na you need to learn how to gain yung wealth, but at the same time, you also have to manage. So, kung paano mo siya i-manage, syempre, madaming paraan. You can save, you can invest sa business, you can invest sa insurance. Personally kasi, Doc, believer kami nun, yung mga insurance policies. Kasi syempre, parang aside from being a financial advisor now, bago pa ako naging financial advisor, meron na talaga kaming ilang policies para, kasi ang concept ng husband ko, pag nawala tayo, paano yung anak natin? So that alone, when you sleep at night, it gives you, Doc, so much peace. Now, when you know that something happens to you, the dream you have for your children, for them to continue education, for them to grow with well provided for, is secured already. So that's the part naman ng manage and passing it on. So physically, wag niyong i-neglect yung health nyo just because you are gaining. Sabi mo, hindi ako natutulog kasi nagtatrabaho ako. Hindi ako makakain kasi nagtatrabaho ako. Nagmamadali ako laging kumain matapos kasi nagtatrabaho ako. So everything you do, you just say, kasi para to sa pamilya ko. Hindi eh. Diba, Doc? So you gain your wealth, but at the same time, do not forget your health while doing. So, gano'n naman yung sa financial.
Yeah, so I couldn't agree more, no? So financial wellness may sometimes be yung parang pinaka-driver ng maraming tao, especially na sabi nila when it comes to third world countries like ours, like Philippines. Nasa ano pa lang tayo, physiological needs. So maraming needs kasi when it comes to when we live our lives, no? Although the optimum is not just on the physical, but sometimes because nga sa hirap ng buhay, we tend to focus more on the physical and to the financial aspect to provide for our physiological needs. So one thing is identify first your needs. Gaano ba kalaki talaga yung kailangan mo? Okay? You can, once you identify that, you'll know what to strive for. And you don't actually just need to focus on the amount. Mas maganda if I know Eliz is also a believer of positive thinking, of attracting abundance, and of course manifesting abundance if you want it. So one technique that is common to all of those ideas, it became famous before with the book The Secret. Okay, so yung book na The Secret, yun. It's a believer of the universe that's going to provide for you kung ano yung kailangan mo. But when you tend to focus kung ano yung wala ka ngayon, you're actually not attracting wealth. Okay?
Yes.
You are actually not attracting finances. You have to feel abundance first, okay? So instead of focusing, so for example, I want 1 million in my bank account. What you can do is actually envision that you already have that million in that bank account.
You have
declare
to
that you have that. And aside from declaring that you have that, you also have to feel your emotion. Ano yung mararamdaman mo na nandyan na yan. Hindi mo mararamdaman that I will feel like this, I get this. Do not ever do that na merong if, okay? Because that becomes conditional. And when it becomes conditional, you are actually reflecting the energy that you still don't have it. So, kailangan talaga yung idea na fake it till you make it. So, you have to convince yourself that you already have it and you already have that kind of abundance and then you have it within you. And then the first feeling that you can have is gratefulness. You are always so happy. You are always so thankful. And you will just be surprised. Unti-unti, opportunities will be open and it will come in. And how to do it one by one, step by step. Actually, nandyan din yan sa book 3. Okay? With book 3, it will teach you how to maximize your potential, how to maximize your talent. Hindi mo man masabi na baka masabi mo wala kang talent, but that is not true. Lahat tayo, we have a talent na pwede nating ma-maximize, and that talent is something that we can actually use as a possible route to our financial wellness if you know how to detect it. So since that is still number 3, at as much as we want to engage in that talk, no, kaya lang baka aabutin tayo ng isa pang kahaba-habang session. But it's good And I'm glad that you mentioned about those policies because I also believe in that. And what I invested on is actually a 3-in-1 kind of policy that aside from getting a
Life.
medical insurance, for example, kapag nagkasakit ka, okay, meron siyang short-term na medical coverage.
Uh-huh.
Tapos, kapag hindi ka naman nagkakasakit, your saving,
Critical
oh,
illness.
meron ding critical illness in case magkasakit ka. And then, meron din siyang ride-on na life insurance. And then, meron din siyang, if ever hindi mo lahat makukuha yon, it transforms into an investment. That is yung around, ano ba yun? Mga starting siguro around 200,000. And that is payable in long term ha, like 7 years yan na payable na
7,
scheme.
10,
Depending on,
15, 20.
depending. Oh, so pwede siyang hindi ganon kabigat sa you can pay it monthly, you can pay it annual, you can pay it twice a year kapag bonus nyo. Okay, wala na akong bonus ngayon eh. So, yes, you can have that to have to a lighter na load. Pero it will also double as investment in the long run. So, it's really good because while you're taking care of your health, you're also ensuring that if ever accidents happen, although we are not attracting that, covered pa rin tayo. So it gives us the peace of mind. And if ever you will do well, hindi mo kakailangan, you won't touch your savings and it becomes investment in the long run. So it's really, really good. So I'm glad that you mentioned that because I think, I understand na sinasabi ng iba, insurance, parang sugal yan. Yes, it could be sugal, but what you are not buying is not just the product. What you are buying is really peace of mind. And I think having peace of mind is one of the most important factors for us to really have a good sense of stress-free or at least manageable stress level. So moving on with that is our mental wellness. So what can you say about mental wellness?
Okay. Sige. Doc, before we leave sa financial, before we jump into mental, I just want to emphasize this one thing. Kasi parang kanina pa siya pumapasok sa isip ko. That poverty is actually not a state of how much your wallet has. It's a state of your mind. Poverty is a mindset. So, if you want to relay it to mental wellness, I would like to jump. Kasi parang gusto kong i-focus sa mental wellness. Of course, syempre, may mga psychological issues and all those things and psychiatric stuff. Pero I want to say that it's really mindset. Whatever you put your mind into thinking and to believing, as a man, parang sa Bible nga, di ba? As a man thinks, so is he. So, be careful what you feed your mind. Be careful what you think about. Because eventually, whatever the brain dictates, the body will really manifest. So, like what you mentioned, di ba? Gusto mong magkaroon ng pera, but every day you say, ay, naku, ang hirap-hirap ng buhay. Nasa ilonggo ka pigado, gid.
Stop complaining talaga. Stop complaining.
So, you really have to think. Yes, so the mental wellness, your mind will dictate everything that happens on the physical. So, parang kahit sa low carb natin, Doc, I really believe without the proper mindset, the efforts are useless. Sayang lang. Maybe makakapag-start siya ng 15 days, 30 days, 45 days, but eventually babalik at babalik yan. That's why we really say that it is a lifestyle because it has to start with the mindset. Which is, I would like to focus on that one for the mental. Although lahat kasi ng dimensions, di ba, sobrang broad nila. But just for that, do yourselves a favor, whatever it is that you're doing, start with a mindset that you really want to do it and you really want to see it happen for your life. Yun.
Okay. Yeah, so relating to that, we are happy that our fellow classmates sa LCF Masterclass, Coach Jean, nasa third book na siya. I hope you will be happy with third book. If you, usually yung sinasabi nila, they hear my voice when they are reading book 3. So, kasi parang talaga yan, nagkakwentuhan
na tayo. Konsensya.
Book 3 kasi, yung sinasabi ko yan, book 3 is actually me being a friend to my friend. So it's me being a friend. That's me as a friend to you. And also, I'm excited for CJP. Nasa book 3 na ako. Tapos ko kaagad ang book 1 and 2. Madali mag-fasting at mag-low carb. Pero hirap ako i-manage yung chronic stress. See, it's meant to be. Nasa book 3 na siya. So I hope it will help you in any way. Book 3, pwede mong balik-balikan yan anytime. If merong mga parts na you feel like alam mo na, so you can skip, but you can always go back. And also, I would like to mention this, Paolo Glodove. Sabi niya, may medical doctor pala na nagpo-promote ng low-carb diet. Where are you watching this, Paolo? So maybe it's the first time that you met me. You can follow my page, Dr. Josephine Grace Rojo.
Welcome.
Yes, I'm a medical doctor and I promote low carb. In fact, no, nasa ano na tayo, batch 2.0 ng low carb and fasting masterclass. We are currently conducting a masterclass, no, na on specific diseases and how it can possibly be managed, kung paano ito pwedeng ma-manage. So hindi lang ako nagpro-promote ng low carb. I am practicing it myself. Ako mismo ay nag-follow low carb at nagpa-fasting. Ngayon, isang 30 minutes lang yung kain ko kasi na-busy na. So parang halos 24 hours na fasting. And I'm okay. Nakita mo naman, malusog pa din. So, baka daw kasi dinidiscourage ng most doctors. I can say that before and when I didn't know any better, I also discourage. Okay? In fact, no, yung mommy ko, si Maming, siya pa yung nauna nagpukulit sa akin about keto, about low carb. But noon, since I didn't study it that much yet, so I just brush it off. But later on, I come to appreciate it, especially from fasting. And then later on, you can really see that with fasting, you want to maximize the benefits together with nutritious low-carb meals. And that's the time I learned about it. So, I understand. And kahit pa nagdinidiscourage kayo ng inyong doktor, it's not because ayaw niya kayong gumaling. It's just that hindi sila naniniwala pa dito. And mostly because the standard practice now is wala pa talaga sa guidelines yung low-carb. Okay? But soon, I really believe in a few years' time, it will be in the guidelines kasi hindi talaga madedenay yung benefit when it comes to health sa ating life and health in general, how low carb can really do wonders. So with mental health, no, it's really good that we have access to it. So that's basically book 3. So para siyang a summary of all that. So as sabi nga ni Eliz, no, there's so many ways of saying it. Pero sabi din nila, if you think you can or if you think you cannot, you are right. Pareho lang. So better believe. Whatever you tell yourself, yun yung nagiging totoo. We are very much vulnerable to the power of suggestion. So better to make suggestions that are good for us. Okay?
Yeah.
Every morning, tingnan mo yung sarili mo, ang ganda-ganda ko. Ang healthy ko. So, ganyan. Wag mo lang sabihin sa harap ng ibang tao. Okay? You just keep it to yourself. Secret lang. And eventually, you will manifest it. Yun lang yan. Totoo yan. Okay? Moving on to...
It takes actually, Doc, it takes the same effort to believe the negative but it is to believe the positive, diba? It takes the same effort, so why choose the negative over what's possible in your life?
And yeah, that's very, very true. So moving on to occupational wellness. What is occupational wellness?
This one is how fulfilled are we with the occupation that we have chosen. Like example, ikaw doctor ka, di ba? Like ako, my full-time occupation is really a mother. I would always declare that I'm a full-time mom and I have a lot of side hustle because everything else to my mind, they are all negotiable. My being a mother and a wife and a full-time homemaker is my non-negotiable. So parang lahat yan pwedeng mawala, pwedeng pwedeng laho. They can all disappear. Kasi my occupation that I have embraced is that of being a full-time mom. And everything else to me is my part-time job. Parang ganun. Yeah. So how satisfied are you with what you're doing now? Kasi madami kasi Doc, ang example, may mga doctors. Maybe they became doctors because they were obliged. Di ba, Doc, sa mga nurses na stories dati, di ba, the parents want them to be nurses kasi malaki ang pera pag nag-abroad ka. Pero, yung nag-aral mismo na estudyante, ayaw niya talagang maging nurse kasi gusto niyang maging artist. Gusto niyang mag-open ng bakery. So, how happy or how fulfilled are you with your chosen occupation? Yan naman yung sa occupational wellness.
So to add to that, no, it's really good. Whatever occupation that you have, I hope it is something that is really speaking to your heart. And if ever
Mm.
hindi naman, don't worry. It's not the end all be all. Okay? So for example, if you are a factory line worker, no, hindi mo sasabihin na wala kang sense of fulfillment dyan. So, nandito si Onyx Girl, okay? So, yung importante talaga is you give your best. You give your best when it comes to whatever that you do. Kasi when you give your best, when you give all of your heart into it, no, you will just
Mm.
find fulfillment. Because anyway, no, it will, a good deed will never go unnoticed for long, okay? So, at
Mm.
any point, at any time, you will see it coming back to you. And kahit pa wala pa siyang like financial incentive, okay? Kahit wala pa siyang financial incentive, the fact that you know that you did your best, that is good enough fulfillment. Okay? Yung wala kang pagsisisihan every day na sasabihin mo, I wish I could have done this or that, no? Doing your best, doing your part is already a very very good thing. And yun nga, it's about loving what you do and doing what you love. And at the same time, you can do it. And if ever naman, like say for example, you have other passions, hindi sila kailangang mag-exist isolated. They can
Yeah.
coexist. Okay?
Yes.
So
Yes.
you can just like what Eliz said, you can have a non-negotiable and you can have a negotiable. Those non-negotiables,
Mm-mm.
those
Mm-mm.
non-negotiables can still add up to your sense of overall fulfillment. Okay? Hindi kailangan nasa isang aspect lang. And that is also one way that we are looking into sa book 3 natin. Because with book 3, part dyan is actually maximizing your potential. And one of the good things that opened up my eyes before, no, ay hindi lang pala isa yung potential natin. We can
Yeah.
have
True.
multi-potentials. And your
True.
multi-potentials are all possible sources of your passion, your happiness, that can even a
Mm.
source of income, and that could be a source of your fulfillment. So you can tap all
Mm-mm.
that. You just need to listen to
Yes.
them. So I hope you will have the best occupation that you have. And actually, whatever we have now, we can just maximize it. Try to always think, no, what you are thankful for with your occupation. If you say,
Mm.
for example, ano bang trabaho, for example, na sasabihin mo, wala talaga, malayo talaga sa akin ito. Like, construction work, no? Wala akong passion talaga with building houses, pero kailangan ko for me to earn an income. So actually, the ability that you are providing for the needs of your family, you are actually doing well. Okay? So
Mm-hmm.
it's just a matter
Mm-hmm.
of mindset. You can get fulfillment knowing that you have provided for your family, for your loved ones. Okay? So our favorite next one is physical wellness. Of course,
Physical.
hindi na natin yan kailangan
Sige.
i-elaborate pa, but still, now,
Mm-mm.
what can you say about physical wellness?
Doc, sa physical wellness, I'd like to share bakit ako nag-decide na i-low carb ang kids. I'd like to share that story kasi I mentioned I have a business. And sa business ko, merong mga, syempre may mga slimming, may ganun. Pero hindi pwede yun sa bata. Adults
Okay.
lang yun. So, sabi ko, ano kaya gagawin ko? Kasi syempre, when we checked my son, hindi lang siya, Doc, obese. He was extremely obese.
Oh, for a
Oo.
15-year-old,
So,
huh?
makita mo, Doc, yung fingers niya, oh, as in, ang taba, tambok. Sobrang taba na talaga dito, Doc.
Chorizo? Longganisa?
Yeah. Parang longganisa na. Yung girl, okay lang kasi parang growing pa, tapos nasa overweight lang siya. So, parang hindi pa ganun ka-alarming. But my eldest, he was already obese. So, that's when I started to study na ano ba ang gagawin na pwedeng natural method. So, yun. I did the research and checking and ganyan. Kaya after 100 days, yun yung actually, ang sa akin lang naman sana nung una was just to expose them that there is a better option. So I learned, I would bake. Kasi mahilig din kaming kumain, especially Doc sweets. Ay nako, lagi ko ang sinasabi, hindi lang ako sweet teeth ako. Kasi Doc, sobrang buo ano talaga yan. Everything is just sweet. Ganyan kami. We make our own ice cream, mga pizza, lahat mahilig ako magluto for the family. So I converted that And I really had to relearn. Kasi pag hindi mo sila bibigyan ng food na gusto din nila, na masarap, pero better option. Imagine mo, sabi ko dun sa anak ko, can you imagine eating a low-carb pizza, the whole plate, is equivalent to one slice of pizza na regular. So which one do you want to eat? Siyempre, my son said, one plate! Diba?
Sobrang galing mo talaga magbigay ng options.
Ganyan
And
yung
it worked.
approach ko. Oo, it worked. Tapos eto pa, we gave them an incentive. Kasi syempre, Dok, bata yan diba? So you really have to give them something that will motivate them. But it's not just motivation na useless. It's a motivation that you know that they really want. Kasi ganyan naman talaga sa buhay we work so hard for the things that we want to achieve. Kasi parang, so psychologically, meron nagmo-motivate sa kanya. Imagine, Doc, our deal was 15 kilos in 6 months. He was able to make it in 3 months. He was so motivated that we were able to achieve the goal in 100 days. Sabi ko. Kasi dapat, sabi ko, pag na-reach yung 90 days, hindi pwedeng mag-stop. Dapat ma-maintain pa ng another 10 more days. Kaya ginawa namin 100 days challenge. Yeah, so, intermittent fasting, up to this day, Doc, we already have yung parang flexibility. Personally naman, Doc, sa akin, bumalik yung metabolism ko kasi I can clearly remember when I reached the age of 39. Dati, sabi ko, magsi-sit ups lang ako, Doc, 1 week, liliit na yung tiyan ko. When I reached 39, Doc, 1 month na akong nagsi-sit ups, malaki pa din ang tiyan ko. So I really know something was wrong. Something was wrong and aging is catching up on me. Mahilig ako, Dok, mag-milk tea. Halos dati, Dok, sa Bacolod, everyday akong nagmi-milk tea kasi sobrang sarap. Oo. Kaya na-conclude ko talaga, grabe magpataba yung milk tea. Sorry milk tea company. But I've really proven that. But one thing, Doc, kaya hindi ako din pala tabain. I have this habit. I watched this from Oprah. Long time ago, Doc, single pa ako. That once a week, we need to fast. Because it gives our body the chance to parang recuperate or yung ganon. So long time ago pa, may habit talaga ako na pag Sunday, I fast the whole day and I just drink my mga supplement, ganyan. And usually, I just eat dinner. So my in-laws, syempre, Chinese sila, mahilig din sila, mama, papa, kain. Lagi nila ako pinapagalitan na, tapos I usually then skip breakfast. Yan kasi, hindi ka kumakain ng tama sa oras, lagi silang nagko-complain. But little did I know na dati pala, intermittent fasting na yung ginagawa ko. Or di kaya meron na akong regimen for fasting na weekly. So, dati pag mag-flu ako, Doc, 1.5 days. Wala talaga akong kain yan. More on liquid lang ako. Tapos Doc, ang kansi? Anong kansi, Doc? Ang kansi pala, Doc. Yung niyan, yung sabaw niyan. Bulalo. Yan lang, iniinom ko din. Oo, yun. Tapos, syempre, I have to consider my micronutrients, diba? So, ang vitamins and minerals. So, I take my supplements and then I take nothing. 1.5 days after that, I'm back to my zooming, the flash na naman ako. So, parang hindi lang ako nagkasakit. So, to this day, sobra 1 year na, Doc, even the kids, strict kami sa intermittent fasting. Medyo maluwag na kami sa food. Pero sa 2 meals a day and the eating window, either 18-6 or 16-8, doon talaga kaming medyo nagsistrict. Except for occasions na kailangang mag-feast. So, we also give that parang may leverage din sila. Or we call it our pie day. Planned indulgent eating. So we have our pie day. So what's a pie day?
So it's really good, no? So thank you for that testimonial, especially for the kids, no? Kasi most of us here watching are all adults, pero mostly we are also taking care of the young. So it's good that you've shared that low carb can actually be sustainable for children. Kung gusto niyo pong lumaki yung anak niyo, mas kailangan nila ng proteins than sugar. Promise, yung proteins po, yung building block of growth, no? Hindi lang sugar, okay? We can live. We have thrived as humans for millions of years na wala pang sugar. Sabi nga nila, if we are going to reduce our existence sa mundo in a year time, we only ate granulated sugar, simple sugar, during the last 10 minutes. So, ganoon talaga ka, hindi pa tayo sanay with that. And the one testimonial here would be one of our classmates, Sabrina Cole Abelia. No, sabi niya, hindi talaga ma-deny ang benefits daw. Few days into low carb, my patients, may hobbies, may patient, kasi patient ko yung husband niya, may hobby, blood sugar reached 106 for the first time in his life. No? See? Hindi talaga kailangan ng kung ano pang gamot. Kami ng brother ko kanina, sinabi niya sa akin, meron akong narinig na commercial sa radio na this supplement daw. Merong nagsabi na simula nung uminom ako nito, galing sa 180, ngayon 136 na lang yung blood sugar ko. So yung ibang tao, sure, bibili yan. So in a span of like a few minutes na nagda-drive siya from where he came from going here, twice niyang narinig yung commercial na yon. Sabi niya, hindi ba tayo pwede mag-commercial ng gano'n? Na sabihin natin na for example, from 200, ngayon 95 na lang without any medicine. So sabi ko, pwede naman. Ikaw ba ang magsa-sponsor ng commercial na yan? At sinong maniniwala sa'yo? Kasi everybody feels like there is a catch. What's the catch in there? Actually, with low carb and fasting, there's no catch. The only catch is you healing. So, nasa sayo nyo po yan. Okay?
Yeah.
So, Pi Day. Sabi ni CJ, meron nagkaroon na daw. Pi Day. Pi, may new meaning na ang Pi sa akin. Wow! Kasi yung pa plant indulgent
eating.
That is so nice. Okay, for you na hindi familiar dyan, we also have that in book 1. So, nasa book 1 natin yan. Yung plan your indulgence. Don't label it as cheating. It's not good for your wellness. So, plan it. Okay, plan an indulgence. So, moving on to the 7. A little overtime tayo, but we will finish the 8 aspects of wellness. So, social wellness.
Yeah, social wellness. So, that is our serving the community, how we relate to the community. Outside naman siya, outside focused. So, shout out to our friends from Bayanihan Mission, Doc No. And also my friends from WELLThy.
Yung mga interns natin noon, ng mga doctors na ngayon. Yeah.
So how we relate to
all
the
of those
society,
volunteers.
it gives. Kasi kahit gaano kabigat yung problem natin, Doc, when we see other people outside who are suffering more than we are, we tend to forget. And that drive within us to help the community and to help other people will actually, yung parang, he who parang ganun ulit sa Bible ulit, he who refreshes others will himself be refreshed. Kapag tumulong ka sa iba, ikaw mismo natutulungan. So, I hope that for the social well-being or the wellness, we find a way to serve the community. Not just getting fat on your own, parang pocket mo, mayaman ka na, but you have to have that sense of purpose. Bakit ako blessed? Parang be a blessing to your society, be a blessing to your community. It will add up to your long life. Ayan.
Yes, that is really true. And I think whenever we talk about health, parating nakakwentuhan dyan is yung blue zones. So blue zones po is yun yung mga list of communities na kung saan ay merong mga pinakamaraming centenarians. So centenarians are those who live more than 100 or at least 100 years old and more. So yun po yung pinakamarami. So sasabihin ng iba na they are not into really low carb or keto. Of course not. Hindi naman talaga silang keto. But what is common among them? Wala silang simple sugars. Walang regular intake of processed foods. Walang regular intake even if they use honey, but very little. Okay? They may have some dairies, but real yogurts or real fermented foods, no? Hindi siya on a regular basis. They have a good routine when it comes to physical activity. And most importantly, they have a very close-knit community. They have a very good support system. And I think that is important with social wellness, okay? Kasi we are not born, no? We cannot live as an island. Hindi po tayong, kahit gaano tayo ka-introvert, gaano tayo ka-loner, we will still need somebody, okay? Kahit hindi man yan need na makakatulong sa'yo, actually, sometimes we need people to share our blessings with. And that is
Yes.
also a good thing for us, for our well-being. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And kung wala pa yan sa inyo, don't worry. Your low-carb feasting and fasting community, your Life Without Rice community, it may be a virtual community, online
Support.
community, but we have seen, we
Yeah.
have become friends and almost family to people na we haven't met in person. But we know we have connected. We have connected in our hearts na mga soul sisters natin in those communities, and you are free to join there. So I hope you can share this video so that others can also can also experience the benefit. And lastly, last but not the least, would be spiritual wellness. So what's spiritual wellness for you, Eliz?
This is the very existence of my being. So parang without faith, it's really yung parang no matter how stormy it is outside, if you are secured of your identity, yung parang for me because I'm a Christian, so my identity in Christ and my future is secured with my Lord and my Savior. So parang ganon, it gives you that stability. Yung hindi ka ma-shake because your foundation is based on eternity, parang ganyan. So, I will not impose my faith on other people, but personally, Doc, that's what I believe. And among other things, without my spirituality, parang lahat kasi pwedeng mag-crumble. But knowing where your faith is anchored in, it gives you that stability that you need na hindi ka masusway kung saan-saan lang. Or mapupunta sa masamang bisyo. Parang ganyan. Yun.
So it's really the anchor. Okay, so for those of you we may have different faith, lahat tayo, but the presence of having an anchor na pupuntahan mo, you always go home to that anchor. Kahit ano pa yan. It will actually be the one that's guiding you, and you will nothing can mess up with you. Okay, nothing can mess with you. Okay, nothing can mess you up. Okay, if you have that stable foundation of your identity, kung ano man yung
and
identity
sense of
mo,
purpose,
you have
Doc.
Yes, okay.
Yes,
So, and
sense
all of
of
this,
purpose.
supposedly, yung sabi mo nga, yung identity mo, so usually it will speak to the other 7 kinds of wellness. So they shouldn't go against each other. Okay? So if you have the spiritual anchor, your values are intact, what you believe in, your faith is intact, meron kang specific yardstick. And for those who are Christians also, or maybe Muslims, no? So our Bible, our Quran can be our guide. Can be one of the most objective guide on how to live our life. Okay?
Yes.
And all other 7 aspects should be just in harmonious relationship with each other. Walang dapat kumukontra dito. Because when there is something that's contradicting each other, then that is where stress can come in. And we don't want that. So that's why with our lifestyle, with low-carb nutrition, nutritious meals, and with incorporation of fasting, even with fasting, no, for me, my spirituality, my sense of spiritual wellness is heightened when I'm fasting. Because when you are fasting kasi, you remove yourself of all of those material possessions, material needs, no? Even the very basic need for food, no? Winawala mo. And that's the only time that you can really get a hold of your spirituality. And that practice is not just cleansing your physical aspect, but also your spirituality. Naki-cleanse. It becomes rejuvenated.
Clear.
Parang, yes, it
Crystal
becomes
clear.
And your purpose becomes clear as well. That's why yung mga naglo-low carb at nagpa-fasting, it's not news anymore. It's because it's very common for them to find their real purpose. After they engage into proper wellness, they engage into proper eating, low carb nutrition, and fasting, kasi it becomes clearer. It becomes crystal clear on what you really want to do, on what purpose you have in this world, no? And the road how to get there also opens up. So
Mm.
with this, I thank you all. Thank you so much, Eliz. We are already 10 minutes past our time, but it's okay. It's really, really worth everything. Hello, supporting from USA. Meron pa tayo dito, no?
Yeah.
We, sabi ni
Hello.
CJ, we have different faith, but I think natural sa atin ang maniwala sa isang supreme being. Faith is being sure of what we
Mm.
hope for and certain of what we do not see. Yes, even if
Yes.
there's no
Yes.
proof, it's speaking from the inside. Okay, it's your spirit speaking to you to trust that process, to trust something. And yes, may iba-iba man yung pangalan, but there is something we all believe that there is someone, something that is so much greater than ourselves, than our existence here. And our existence here is part also of that beautiful supreme being. So let's become representative of that something beautiful. So maraming salamat po. Before we leave, Eliz, what anything you'd like to say? And I know you will promote something na very important when it comes to coaching then, if others would like to follow your path.
Actually, Doc, I would want to invite them. I would want to invite them to the WELLThy community. So, and someday, siguro mga next month, Doc, we will also have a Be Wealthy with Me. Parang get wealthy with me. So, where we can discuss the different dimensions every week in detail. And
Okay.
for the coaches, I will be launching a coaching company sometime in July, which will support the coaches in terms of ano naman, pag gusto nilang maging wellness coach, pag gusto nilang maging master mindset coach, mindfulness coach, all those coaching, it's a partnership with a company in the US. And we have sealed the partnership already. So I will announce that more. Siyempre, unahin natin dun sa ano natin, sa group ng coaches natin. Oo. So we will be having series of webinars to share that with everyone. Kasi Doc, I always believe in sowing seeds. Whatever business I want to start or whatever business I have started, it's always planting seeds first
Okay.
before harvest. Ayan. So, watch out for that. And thank you so much, Dr. Grace.
Thank you so much. I hope you guys enjoy that. And
Yeah,
don't
I hope
worry,
you
for those of you who
learned.
missed this live episode, you can always rewatch this. We will make this available also in our pages. You can also follow Eliz Rose, the wealthy coach, no? And a Facebook group for your overall wellness in all of those 8 dimensions. We have the wealthy community. You are free to join, okay? Invite
Yes.
everybody, invite everyone. So maraming salamat. I hope you are doing well and I hope you will do even better this coming weekend as you
Yes.
recharge, as you rejuvenate, and as you try to address each dimension of your wellness para
Mm.
di lang talaga healthy on the outside, even especially more importantly on the inside. So maraming salamat
Yes.
everybody. I'll see you again
Thank
on Monday on
you.
another episode of What's Up Doc. Goodbye!